the first ever off-season Hard Knocks got announced. Who knew that NFL Films had been embedded with the Giants since the minute the Giants season ended? Let's just say there's no John Mara, Joe Shane goalie standing in the crease here. Okay, what do you think? What would we find out about what? Like, what do you think we'd find out about here, Albert?
So I'm going to give you a fun one. So you know what you like? I know you know, but like the people listening, watching know what a 30 visit is, right? So the NFL teams have the power to bring in 30 guys pre-draft, right? So you bring in 30 guys before the draft to your facility. You take them out to dinner the night before, and then you have a full day of meetings with them. You can give them a physical, all that different stuff. No workout, but you can do a bunch of different things with meetings and tests and all that different stuff the next day. So what I would want to see is there was a 30 visit where 3 guys were on that visit together. Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, Rome Odunze were all on their 30 visit together. And additionally, I've heard Malik Neighbors, who wound up with the Giants, took this whole thing as a massive competition, right? Like the whole pre-run up to the draft, everything else, it pissed him off that people thought Marvin Harrison or Rome Odunze were better than him. So I actually heard that he ran his second 40 at LSU, his pro day, right? So he runs a 4.3. Most guys, and you know this, Rich, you've covered the combine forever. If you run well on your first 40, what do you do generally?
You stop.
You don't run a second one, right?
Right.
I heard he ran his second 40 to LSU's pro day as a shot at Marvin Harrison for not doing anything before the draft. And I heard that with one team, he referred to Marvin Harrison as the guy from Ohio State rather than by his name. So there was definitely like a little competitive thing going on there, at least on Malik Neighbors' side. So I would love if they had any sort of footage. And I'm not saying the guys don't get along or whatever. I'm sure they're cordial and everything else. But I would just love to see what that looked like. Having 3 guys who are competing with each other directly for draft position in Neighbors, Odunze, and Harrison out to dinner together somewhere in New Jersey, and then in the building together on their 30 visit. I don't know if they'll show us that, but that would be one thing that would be great to see.
Well, it's interesting that's where you went, because the fact that Neighbors is a Giant is born out of the fact that apparently they couldn't get Drake May, and they couldn't get the Patriots to buy.
That's the other thing I'd love to see.
That I want to see that, and then what does that mean for Drew Lock and Daniel Jones, and is there a valuation of the quarterbacks that are still left there in any way, shape, or form informed by their attempts to get May or kick the tires on J.J. McCarthy and all that stuff? You know,
now, I don't think you would see. I don't think you would see. Like, I could totally understand why you wouldn't want to show the private conversations that Joe Shane or Brian Daboll are having with Daniel Jones, but if they could somehow give us a window into how the Giants were handling their aggressive evaluation of the quarterbacks and the potential move up for Drake May, if Hard Knocks could somehow show us how the Giants were massaging that with Daniel Jones, that would be fascinating, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah.
Like telling, like being like, how upfront are they with him? What are they telling him exactly? That would be something that'd be incredible. Now, I totally understand if the Giants don't want to show that, because those are private conversations and everything else. But that would be one thing that I think would be really, really interesting. And then, of course, like, who wouldn't want to see the last phone calls that Joe Shane and his staff are making to the Patriots to try to get up to 3, and how close that got, right? Like, I think that would be fascinating. Like, my understanding was they put their first round pick, the 6th overall pick this year, and then next year's first rounder on the table to try and get him. Obviously they fell short. The Vikings tried to move up to 3 to get Drake May too. Anything we could see, anything they could show their effort to move up would be really, really interesting too. Again, in addition to how they were massaging all of that with Daniel Jones.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.